The needs keep coming in. I'm worn out. My wife is scared that I'm going in every day. My littlest boy turned 2 on Monday and I was at work. I can't expect our people to do something I'm not willing to do.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Brian. Today we're going to be talking with Brian Morgan from Couch Potatoes out of Austin, Texas, a family-owned furniture store and upholstery service. And we're extremely interested to hear how you not only responded in this time of crisis, but is doing something truly to help others throughout this pandemic.
We have a lot of friends of ours who have furniture stores across the country, and we started to watch this wave of closures of their stores. And I'm like, oh my, it's coming.
We're going to be another statistic unless we figure out another way to reinvent ourselves. So we said, let's just see what material we have laying around. Looking around our factory, we've got this really expensive fabric cutting machine that is cutting upholstery out for our sofas. This thing's not going to be used once this shutdown happens. I start Googling, what is a material that masks are made out of? Non-woven polypropylene. It's the exact same material we use for pillowcases. And I brought one so I can show you putting it on here. This one just goes around your ear. And we made a pretty dang good mask.
It looks like the real deal.
It does. That in and of itself would have taken a big company like weeks to figure out how to like operationalize. And it's a beautiful thing. It's what I love about small businesses and entrepreneurs.
Once I realized we can make several hundred of these an hour if all of our sewers go, and I put a little post on Instagram and I said, hey, if you're in Austin and you need a mask, we have some. Email us. And I just put the kids down. I come back and I look at this inbox and there's 4 or 5 emails. And while I'm sitting there, a few more come in. People are saying, oh my goodness, I'm a nurse. They just trained us today on how to recycle our masks. Or, hey, I'm a doctor. We've been using the same mask for a week. Hey, I'm an at-home healthcare professional. I have no masks for my staff. And in one day, we had a request for over 3,000 masks.
I said, guys, I know what we're called to do.
The story of going in the Department of Homeland Security is amazing. How did the United States government find you?
Sunday at 4 o'clock, I get a call. This is Juan Ortiz with the Department of Homeland Security. You need to come to my office, sir. I'm not joking. I was scared. I'm like, well, here it is, honey. I'm going to jail. I don't know what I just did, but I'm going to jail. And I just kind of like, we've been trying for weeks and months to source this stuff, and no one can supply because all of our stuff is from Asia. They said, keep making them, make as many as you can. The community needs it. And right before we leave, they say, you guys are obviously pretty creative. And so he goes out to his truck, he opens his bag, only brings one in, and it's a long sleeve isolation gown. He said, well, can you make these? I said, we'll figure it out. And then Monday night, I get a call. We are 2,000 engineers, and we're process engineers. Can we come down and just kind of send one of our process engineers down here to see if we can try to help you?
So the next day they bring down like a dozen guys down here and they donate their time. This guy says, you have 2,000 engineers at your disposal. They're the best brains when it comes to processes. We set up Toyota, GM, all their plants. We're now making right now 8,000 to 10,000 gallons in just a few days. Same machine, same staff.
It's so beautiful to look back at all these things that had to come into place. Everything was for this moment.
I could have never dreamed that this could ever happen in our little factory, one little cutting table. And we figured out a way to use every single piece of remnant scrap. And immediately, once we started feeling this is working in our community and they're receptive of it, I said, we've got to make a YouTube video to tell every other furniture factory, every other person that has this machine, how to save your city. Whatever you can do, tell your factories to get back to work. And we've got factories all over the country right now who are making gowns and masks off of our little design. And that's all happened in 10 or 11 days. I don't know what else to say other than I think this is what entrepreneurs do.
I think that's just so incredible. And I think you see that small businesses doing that kind of stuff. Like, this is how we got scrappy. This is how we figured it out. Here's how you can do it too. And helping each other be part of the solution. And I think that's, it's beautiful.
You know, I think there's there's some people right now who are finding immense purpose, nurses, doctors, but I think there's a lot of people that can't do what they normally do.
Yeah.
How important is it to be able to find purpose right now?
I think it's huge. I can tell you firsthand, I started soliciting volunteers from local churches, and the day before I launched that, the absolute no travel, stay shelter in law goes, and I'm like, how in the world are we going to meet the demand? Here's another idea.
Hey guys, it's Brian from Austin's Couch Potatoes. We are going to start an at-home sewing kit that we will drop off on your porch.
If you're a volunteer or you're trying to figure out a way to serve right now, pull out that old sewing machine that your grandma taught you how to sew on. You follow these directions on how to sew at home, and immediately we had 15 families who said, I will help. A very heartwarming thing when you're sewing, and then as you're making that seam and you're thinking about the person that you're helping, that mask is going to go on some healthcare provider's head. And it's just a beautiful thing.
We have delivery people that work for us, and they're on 1099 with an outside contractor. And I said, we can't do deliveries anymore. And they don't get unemployment. And I said, well, come on in. We're going to teach you how to sew. So 2 days ago, we taught them how to sew. And so you got these big burly guys that are normally doing deliveries around. They're sewing gowns and they're helping package. And then people kept asking, how do we give? And I said, if anybody wants to volunteer Sunday, I don't have the money to pay you. If you want to volunteer and come in and sew masks, we'll figure it out later. One of the only volunteers that came in to sew that day, who was locked up in prison for 35 years, who's turned his life around, who's done time. He said, I'm going to volunteer time to come and sew masks for the community.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. We're gonna encourage participation in a GoFundMe page. As money comes in now, where is it going?
Is really just to cover those fixed costs of the raw materials. I'm having to freight this stuff in, and so we want to keep the masks free, and we're probably in about, I don't know, it's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay. The city, just last night, wants to put a contract in with us to keep our people employed, and they will pay for the gowns. And I'm not joking, it's like to the dollar what we would normally do in a month of sales in our stores. And I think we're going to make enough to keep our factory open and keep those people all employed. Masks, those are still going to be free, 100%. So still the packaging, raw material, and labor and overhead.
I mean, you are literally putting your actual business on hold to give away medical supplies, and the fact that there are so many first responders and nurses and teachers who are safer because of what you and your team are doing.
The needs keep coming in. I'm worn out. My wife is scared that I'm going in every day. My littlest boy turned 2 on Monday and I was at work. I can't expect our people to do something I'm not willing to.
You know, this is a hard time. Obviously, kind of for all of us, it's working to balance the reality and the grief and how sad this time is, and then also see just how decent human beings can be.
And it's really incredible. So, thank you. Austin's Couch Potatoes is continuing to make masks at its own expense. So please join Deluxe and Flow Studios in donating at the GoFundMe link in this post. Every 50 cents creates one life-saving mask for those on the front lines of the COVID fight. And we'll be continuing to interview small business owners who are stepping up for their communities. So check back at deluxe.com/bigheart for more incredible stories. Or send us a story from your hometown. #smallbusinessbigheart.